I love our intro music. It gets me pumped. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Rich and Dwelyn show. Rich, the innovator, Cabrera, how you doing, my man?
I'm good. How's that going with you?
Man, I'm doing fine. I'm here in Phoenix, Arizona, where as I always like to say, it's the city 1 mile above a volcano because man, it's so hot here. It's very, very hot. But
Yeah, talking about
I don't think it's
that.
as hot as our show though.
No, but I'll tell you, man, heat is the theme this week. I was in Texas this week in San Angelo, Texas, and 107 and raining and thunderstorms. So if you can't imagine what that's like, I'm sure you know in Arizona.
Yeah, I grew up in North Carolina, and it's humid there, so we get those heat waves. But I gotta tell you, living here in Phoenix, and I love this city, but I tell you, I think Phoenix, Arizona, is the only city that you can wear shades at night and get a suntan.
Yep, there you go.
Rich, you and I missed the last show. We want to send our apologies to everyone out there. We want to thank Anthony Reed for stepping in for the Rich and Dwelyn show. Sometimes our schedules run to conflict, but you know what? I always like to say, I mess up so I can make up. So I think we're going to make up today. Yes, Jessica B is definitely hot.
Yeah. And I'll tell you a big shout out to our buddy Mike for being on, Morales for being on last week and really covering us with Anthony. So I know it was a great show. I really enjoyed hearing and listening to it back and glad that they were able to have those conversations yet last week, even though we weren't able to be there.
That's totally correct. I want to give a quick shout out to my only son who turned 27 on July 11th. There in Jackson, Tennessee. So happy birthday, Dwelyn. I don't never like to say Dwelyn number 2 because he's his own man. So I like to say Dwelyn Sean Williams. Happy birthday to you, brother. My son, I miss you. I love you. So Rich, today we have a power couple today.
Yeah.
And it's always enlightening whenever you have individuals who in the arena world who make an impact by being a dynamic duo, like I always like to say. So Rich, this couple, so we're kind of reversed this time. So this couple a little bit more than I do. Am I correct?
Yeah, well, we've had conversations. I was introduced to them by a mutual friend, and I wanted to have them on because I just was so excited about their story and their experience that they've had. I really love the nicknames that they have. You're the glue and I'm the innovator, and now we're gonna have the Caretaker and we're going to have the Dialysis Warrior Blind Chick up on this show today. So we really go with the nicknames today, and I love it.
Oh yeah, I love it too, man. Is it Dialysis? I want to say it correct. She is the Dialysis Blind Warrior Chick or Dialysis Warrior Blind Chick.
Blind Chick, yep. Wow. And with their Pomsky moose, the Pomsky service dog. So there's a lot to unwrap there. So I can't wait to get them going and start talking and get to know them a lot more.
Oh my goodness, moose! That reminds me I live in Alaska. But you know what? Enough chit chat about us, ladies and gentlemen. We like to bring in Mr. Michael Gilchrist and Christina, Dialysis Warrior Blind Chick Gilchrist. Let's take it away. Oh, hello, people. How you all doing?
Excellent. How are you guys?
I'm doing fine. As you know, I'm Dwelyn. I like to call myself the glue because I like to bring people together. But today, Mr. Richard Cabrera, the innovator, he played the glues part, and he brought you all together to me. So, how are you all doing today?
Excellent. Well, in Utah, we had some of those monsoons, and so we've been soaking wet, and then.
Oh my goodness! Well, I'm glad you're being safe there. I'm glad you're being safe. So tell everyone who you are in a brief 2 minutes as who you are and what you're going to bring to the table.
Okay. All right. So this will be a little difficult, but I've been in the kidney world since I was 12. I got diagnosed at 12 with nephritis. 22, I got pregnant. And during my pregnancy, I had seizures. lost my eyesight and I lost my kidneys. So from there on, I started. Big brother donated a kidney to me, and that rejected after a couple. And then I did in center for about 5 years, and then I got another. And then after that transplant, it rejected too. So after that, I and kind of try the home route and kind of start living on dialysis, and home hemo, and yeah, that's kind of all of it.
Oh my goodness, Richie! It sounds to me that Christina is beyond a dialysis blind chick. She still has vision. She's experienced everything. I mean, from what I hear is she did everything full circle times 2.
Yeah, and and it's like you just said, it's vision beyond sight, right? That's really what I like to say. It's like you have a vision beyond sight because you're limited by some of the things that most people have to go through with dialysis, because you've made a way for you to find opportunities to continue living your life, and that's awesome to hear. So let me right. No, it is. So let me ask you a question. What was your first reaction for both you and Michael? Like, what was your reaction the first time you heard, as a couple, that you were going to be doing dialysis together?
So, I did, because I know we're total opposites. I am, and I can go with the flow. I can do anything. And he's OCD. And so so if it was flipped, we'd have a hard time, but how it is, yeah.
So what was your initial thought when you first were told you're going to go?
Initially,
when your kidney rejected again.
So after my second one, kind of expected it at that point. We kind of knew it was coming. And so at that point, all I wanted to do as good as possible while doing dialysis.
That's kind of where we were at. We were pumping in her trying to save it. That it finally got to a point where it's like okay, to save this thing that's just rejecting, and at what so it was almost kind of where, like she was saying, it was almost expected, and okay, so we're not going to try chemo medicines. I mean, we tried starting to the point where her immune system was totally shot. A cold would really wait a month, and it was finally where I was like, okay, fine, let's just let this.
Oh wow! Oh my goodness gracious, man! My goodness, you two have a wonderful story. So so Richard asked that question, but the term dialysis, when you first heard that term, what was your thought? I mean, I can say for myself, I learned about dialysis in the early 90s with my mother with end-stage renal disease, and we couldn't even pronounce the word, and nobody knew what it was. So that word dialysis, when you first heard it, how did it make you feel?
So I had an uncle that he was born with no kidneys or a bladder. He's been in the kidney world my entire life. And so when I first heard about it, Uncle Rick, and so me and my dad went and sat down and talked to him, and he told me how to cheat, and which is priority, right?
Right.
Yeah. So for necessarily blind, because he explained a lot to me and kind of pepped me up for it.
Somebody on the outside, because I met her when she, after she had her transplant, top of her game, climbed, healthy, and that's when it started rejecting 1 year in. And honestly, I didn't really know what dialysis was. I mean, everybody, you don't actually know what dialysis is until the body being cleaned. I mean, people just think, oh, so you go sit in a chair for 3 hours, just peppy as hell.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it's a lot more information. And that's kind of what was more to get the information out there of, you know, these people, all Facebook posts of out having fun, out doing this, out doing this. You don't see the month that she spent in bed sick, or the agony of the clamping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I actually had a brother that I had been all years in center, and my brother gave me a ride to the center and with me, and he saw him doing the needles and everything, and he just started bawling, and and he was like, I had no idea this is what it was.
And that's kind of what it is too. Even with home hemo, you know, people think doing it at home, but you are doing blood pressures every half hour. You're watching this coming in and out. You're taking stats. You're watching pressures. You know, it's a, you know, they see pictures of us camping and having fun and out, you know, ATV, you know, behind closed doors. It is a very in-depth, and like she said, I have OCD, right? I make sure every, you know, every T is crossed, but
I'm the
you
fun
know, the
one.
fun one, we're out just having fun. So.
No, and that's a great perspective, you know, because you get both sides of the coin with the two of you, right? I mean, you have the one that's like mostly strictly business, and then you have the other one who's like, let's go have a good time. And I think it's important for you guys to you guys kind of complement each other in that sense, from what I can see. And it's funny because, you know, that was kind of even in my parents' issue. I don't know if you guys knew, but my parents, that was my dad's. My dad was the first experience I had with home hemodialysis. And my mom was, you know, the care partner. And it was funny because she was all business and my dad is all party, you know, that's the way it was. And he also was blind and on dialysis. And so it was like, you know, my dad was a musician and stuff. So it was like, when I hear you guys talking about your situation, it just brings back so much for me, because it's like, I remember those days where my mom would be, you know, yelling at him to get in the chair so he could start his treatment. And my dad just too busy having a good time talking to friends or watching TV or getting his snacks. And he you know, he took his time and she'd get on him. It was just a funny dynamic to see. And you guys remind me a lot of that. So again, you know, thanks for the memories.
That's probably one of the biggest things is doesn't mean she needs to stop living. You know, anything that she wants to do, she went and did a very showed one of our friends how to administer dialysis, how to help out with strip without me. You know, I freaked out at home, but you know, anything that she wants to do, you know, we'll
I'm young.
Yeah,
not.
I'm not. That's crazy, but
oh my goodness!
Anything that it takes a little bit more planning, but we make sure it happens. So.
Yeah, definitely.
I think you two should do stand-up comedy. I think y'all can go, take it on the road, man.
Take that show on the road.
We really should.
Dialysis comedians. There you go.
You know, so another question I would have is, you know, just because it seems like you just explained, there was a lot involved. It's a very in-depth process, you know, and I'm extremely familiar with how that works, having done this before with my dad. But for our audience, I think what is the biggest challenge about dialysis for you, Christina, and how did you overcome that?
Oh, to be honest, I've been doing it so long that it's coming. I think that fitting it into the schedule is hard because I'm used to doing ped. I could do it during the night, and so now doing it during the day takes up time, and by that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I get that, but it's great to hear that. Like, you just said something that stood out to me in the sense that you said, fitting it into my schedule, and usually for a lot of patients out there, it's the other way around. It's like you got to fit your schedule into dialysis, right? So the fact that you just said it the way that you said it said a lot, right? I mean, to me, it said a lot. I mean, how did you make that transition? Because you were on an in-center treatment before, and what would the difference? How did you make that transition? How did that work for you?
Center for me was really, really, really rough. I was a single mom to be battle, and it was everything kind of piled, and home and take my daughter to the park, and I had to come home and make my daughter dinner, and it didn't matter if there was a lot of times where I was just a zombie, just pushing, and I love family, and they showed up. My mom, she would live here if I'd let her, because she did things. And I just, honestly, it was just put your head down and get through it. And now that I'm older, I know to slow it down a little bit and make it work for than me just making dialysis work.
Wow.
On the schedule thing, well, real quick, that's not an invite to move in, just so you know. On this whole schedule thing, like we just came back, we did dialysis Thursday night, and we knew that we wouldn't come back until Saturday. Fit all outings into that, and with her, the biggest issue I had with dialysis with her is they immediately think you can't do this. When no shit, we can do absolutely anything. Show her how
to do it.
Find a way. It irritates me that she did almost 6 years. Nobody even told her about home hemo.
Right.
All because they thought she didn't qualify. She could have been doing 6 years of home PD. Raising her, but it wasn't even offered because it just, you can't do this. And she went back to in-center, she was devastated. And I went to the doctors and I'm going home. One way or another, we're going home. And not many people go home with her. And it was like, well, Christina knows the list. She knows more about dialysis, and we know those. So we're going home. And it was immediate. Okay, yeah. So it was more being an advocate and expressing, hey, why can't I do this?
Right. And I think you hit the nail right on the head, Mike. What you said was being an advocate, right? And so many people out there don't know how to do that for themselves, right? I mean, so if you had to give, some advice to anyone out there who doesn't know what that means or how to do that, what would you say to them?
Ask questions. The more questions you ask, the stronger you're going to get, the more knowledgeable or in control of your own treatment you're going to get. So ask as many questions as you
want. My mom taught me, I had a handicapped sister growing up, and she said always times, because by the third time you're going to get the answer that you should. Then actually think about it and be like, oh, okay, yeah, we're doing it because of this. And I left with full Medicare, where they tell you no twice, and they tell you yes. Same thing of I've kind of become a butthead when it comes to dialysis with the nurses. And I'm gonna go in there and I'm asking every question I can and be like, well, why do we do it this way? Why this way? Until I get the answer that I want. And it's kind of like with her, she was bound and determined to be swimming. And she finally went into the, okay, I'm going to go swimming. Why don't you tell me how I can safely? Instead, she loved it. She loved being in the water. So we had a plan. We made sure that all the chemicals were correct. You know, it wasn't come in it and pretty much be a cesspool. It was pretty much closed. And we were told from the beginning, you cannot do this. And it was more, no, don't tell us how we can.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Oh, wow. I love that, man. I mean, y'all both define warrior. Definitely a dynamic duo. I want to take a quick shout out to all of our links. You know, as y'all both know that we stream on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I'd like to say hello to Thelma DeJarlis. She's all the way from Anchorage, Alaska. I've known her ever since I lived there. And we also want to say hi to our YouTubers, our LinkedIn audience, and we have 2 individuals from Twitch as well. So we just want to let you know that people are very watching, and everybody's definitely rooting for you both.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love being able to be on so many different platforms and give us the opportunity to have our own people out there, because I don't really like to think of them as fans. I think this is our network, right? This is our group of people that we know we kind of help each other when we need it. We're kind of like one big happy family here with Kidney Trails and with all of our. So we want to welcome you to that family now that you've been
Absolutely.
a guest on the show, and we're happy to have you here today. And again, I really love the fact that you went down that road of being an advocate. I mean, because I think that's something that we don't have enough of in this industry, right? I think the more advocates we can help create, the better we're going to see our outcomes in this industry. I mean, ultimately, there's a lot of detail out there, and I do details and stats, as a lot of you guys know out there professionally from my work. And one of the things that I know is that you talk about like 5-year survival and things like that. When did you ever get any of those kind of pieces of detail when you were deciding what you wanted to do in terms of your treatment choice?
When I was younger, I basically did as I was told. I think we all kind of, and I did everything they just told me to do, because that was dialysis, and a lot of experiences to get to the point where I felt it more powerful. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, no, and I think that's probably common, right, for a lot of people. I think a lot of people tend to do what they're told, even not just as a child, but as adults in this industry, right? I mean, we really rely on our nephrologists to tell us what the best option is, and really kind of rely on them to make sure that they're leading us down the path that's best for us out there, right? So no, I was really curious about that piece, because like Michael said earlier, you went, what you said, like 6 years and didn't know that this was an option for you, right? So I mean, how did that conversation go?
I had heard about PD, and so I went to my doctor, and this was a doctor I had been to since I had a great rapport with each other. He's an amazing guy. He just retired a few years ago, but he asked him, "Hey, what's this PD stuff?" And he straight up said, "You can't do it. You're blind." And so I was told, and I said, "Okay, you're right."
Wow.
And we kind of started our support group was because there's so many that they're afraid to ask, or that they're afraid to ask again. Go online for so many pieces of information, and it's like, why am I not getting all of this information? It's like, why didn't somebody tell us about this? Why didn't somebody tell us about this? I got online. It was tons and tons of people doing dialysis on a central port, the port that goes straight to your hill. But it can happen, and that's the thing, is where we go in, and it's like, hey, this? You know, that's the biggest thing, is asking the questions of why.
And I think, like, all of us have been through so much, and we've learned so many lessons, and almost not sharing it with the new generation. Because I think back to being that 24-year-old girl, ready to do dialysis, scared out of my mind, you know, just nobody's that HIPAA laws, and don't talk to anybody in center because you're not supposed to. And it was, if I can take what I went through and make it so one more person, one 24-year-old is, then that makes this worth it. And so having this ability to talk to us and the amazing information it gives to people, that's the only way we make this.
We'll talk to people in center, and definitely in center has its place, but and there'll be a guy, he's just devastated, you know, he just retired, his wife is starting dialysis, and I look at him like, why? You know, you want to go camping, you want to go visit your kids, go do many avenues that you can do, and it's like a light goes off in the head of, well, wait a minute, you can look through pictures and be like, hey, this is my solar panel setup, you know, I have a generator just in case. Anything that you want to do, it takes a little bit more planning, but this is the best time of your life. If you're out visiting grandkids, you know, get that RV and go do it. You know, all of this is.
I sat in a center and I met so many people that were senior citizens their entire lives, and I had a friend that it broke my heart, and she'd always say at her house, and she said, I hope I die before I run out of money to give to my kids. Break my heart. And that was the prime of her life. She deserved to want it. And so having those people understand that is everything.
Yeah, just knowing those options.
Oh man, that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. I love that. I love how you both you know, you both define the term "keep going." I mean, that's the only thing I can think about whenever since you got on. I never heard nothing negative. You like just keep going. And as we keep going, who is Moose?
Oh, hold on, he's coming.
Okay. Oh, so this is Moose.
Hi, baby.
So tell us about Moose.
Adorable.
Tell him about Moose.
Okay, so Moose is a Pomsky. He's half Pomeranian, half husky. He's about a year and a half old. He is a service animal. Right. He is trained depth perception, and so he alerts when there's stairs. He sits down and touches my knee, fall on my face, and yeah, he's just to be honest, grow up, and they're leaving, and so I had to get a new baby.
I basically say it is, and they're on their way out. One's to college, one's gonna be going to college. So a service animal and trained him and shipped him off for a month, and he's all certified. He's a butthead, but he's all right. He loves camping. So, we actually have this nightly session where he just knows that like 7 comes in and we start arguing. He starts yelling at me, and I'll start yelling at him, and it just knows he's going to get a treat. Yeah. So he comes in and we just start arguing and talking, and
the husky is talking.
And he's definitely made her life a lot better. Take him into clinics and kind of just show Moose off and show, you know, like
a lot of people say you shouldn't have dogs if you're doing dialysis, and I think that everything else there's a way to make it work, sanitary and safe, and like someone else tells you, oh, you shouldn't do that, like make it work.
Yeah. There's with animals, you know, and he's actually been kind of trained on his own. The second we put medicines and stuff like that, he immediately gets up, walks out of the room, and he'll actually sit right outside this kind of nose. And you know, it's just you can make it work. So
yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because there's so many myths and misconceptions out there about that. And, you know, a lot of people choose to stay away from home dialysis because I always hear it, I don't want to get rid of my pets. And the response is always, you don't have to. You know, you just, like you said.
And that's what people tell us to keep doing this. I want to keep doing this. And I'm like, okay, then keep doing it.
Yeah, let's do it.
You know, when I post pictures of what we're doing with Christina, and we get cringe moments or doctors or something like that. You know, we had an incident where we won, and there's a picture floating around with her doing PD on a motorcycle. Yeah. But we got
I saw that.
The kit, just for that reason, that what if kit of sanitizer, of gloves, of all that's on our way to casino, and traffic was backed up. She had to drain, so we pulled over.
We got it done.
But yeah, she did PD on a motorcycle, and had the time of her life doing it.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that sounds like a story. PD on a motorcycle.
There it is.
That's right.
And I'll tell you, that brings back a memory too, because I've worked in home programs for a lot of years, and I remember one instance where I had a patient that I worked with who actually did the Sturgis run while doing home hemodialysis. And he would stop at KOAs and do his treatment while he was at the campsite, and then load up his equipment and back on the road. And there he was. He did the entire Sturgis run with his partner on a Harley. Yeah. Yeah. So
we have been fine, and we may be organizing a Sturgis run. There's a cheap Sturgis in Arizona that we might go to, or we might try to go to the complete store to take our PD supply, take our home hemo supplies, and just kind of knock it out. So it's not happening yet, but we definitely want to.
We're working on it.
Work on getting a group together and put a partying it up.
Yeah, well, feel free to take us on the road with you when you go to do that. That sounds like a lot of fun.
most definitely. You know, Mike, Christina, something sparked me, because I'm always sparking stuff. You know, you mentioned PD on a motorcycle. You do know that we, the Kidney Trails Press, we are a publishing company, and we also have guest authors. I would love it if you both would write as a guest author for us about PD on a motorcycle. I think that's a headlining title. And, Anthony Reed and myself would definitely love to talk both about that. And that way, you not only be a part of Kidney Trails family, it'd be a very connection, you know what I'm saying? And speaking of family, Michael, we're not trying to move in. That's not the thing, brother.
Hey, as long as you're not moving in.
Well, I don't know. It sounded like you guys had some space now that you got kids going off to college and all of that kind of thing. You might have some empty rooms for rent, huh?
There you go.
Maybe. We'll see.
I just want to know, so that way when I make it out to Salt Lake City, I know where I can go to get a room if I need it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh my goodness, that is too funny. That's too funny. So Rich, you want to ask them the rest of the questions, or me? How do you want to do this?
I was gonna ask the next one, because I figured, as a dialysis patient, you guys have to deal with diet quite a bit and making sure that you're eating right and following that diet. Can you give us like a fun dialysis recipe or a food that you like to eat?
So, super.
I know he told you how to cheat.
You see that pause? Hey, Rich. She said, "What?"
Well,
I'm sure Moose is looking at you right now too, right?
Oh yeah.
So, doing home chemo, eat more potassium and more phosphorus. They get mad at me all the time. So, good tricks.
Well, those student center is constantly chewing on ice chips.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, chewing like nails on a chalkboard sometimes. But what would be some of your recipes when you did in center though?
I have a daughter and she's a type 1 diabetic. And so we definitely have to follow that attention to the renal plan. And so I think the biggest thing is we just like to go fresh. The better.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Just
I hear that.
lots of
Yeah, I hear that. I'm a type 2 diabetic also, but that's something that I've had to do also, is try to change the diet and adjust. And it's a hard adjustment to make. It is for someone who hasn't had to do that before. Yeah. No, I mean, so
everywhere.
It's mostly just what you're eating and see if it can be modified. Kind of like potatoes. Now potatoes are, but if you sit and boil them overnight, or you do the instant ones, they'll all still have the food you want. It's just maybe how you're preparing them.
I guess that would be my trick. Is potatoes and cube them up and put them in water and put them in the fridge overnight. The water actually soaks, and then you drain them and cook them the next day, and you can have potatoes.
Right.
Now, it doesn't drain all, significantly reduces that number.
Yeah.
So on Thanksgiving, we can actually make, no problem. But that's one of the good things about home hemo also is cheat, because I can always do another. I can do another treatment. So you know what? There's no rules. Go have fun. If you're drinking, try to. Other than that, we do what we got to do.
Yeah.
Mike, I gotta cut you off. Mike, you got a new nickname. You're the outlaw, bro.
Hell yeah.
Mike, the outlaw Gilchrist. Yeah. Okay. I love it, man. I love it, brother. I love it.
Yeah. I mean, so it's which is more important to you, inspiration or motivation?
So I thought about that for a while, and I don't think you can. I think they just go hand in hand. Like if you're inspired, you're going to be motivated to do what you got to do. And I think they are both just, especially when you're doing dialysis, it's really easy to let yourself get wallow. But once you get yourself motivated again and you inspire, and like it's phenomenal, and it gives you back that control that you lose.
And I would probably say it's motivated because they, with every warrior times where they're gonna be sad, wallow, why me, and have fun and motivate her to, well, then if it's your dream to go to Vegas with the girls, then we make it happen. We go ahead, and that's one of the big things is motivate, show that you can be out doing this fun.
With me, what works for me is when I'm sick and I'm feeling awful, if somebody cracks some joke, it gets me through it every time. And so he cracks the dumbest jokes and makes me laugh. And it's
weird because we'll have doctors coming in and out. We'll be serious, what do we do? What do we do? And I'm in the back. My job is to just make her laugh. She knows what dialysis is. It can be at times. Every dialysis patient knows that. So why not have fun with it? Jokes. And one of them, she goes in the hospital. We have comedians dwelling on our Spotify. The doctors know when they come in our room, they just have to talk louder because they have to talk over the comedian. will come in and just listen with us too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh my
That's
goodness!
awesome.
Oh
You
man,
know, and it's funny, Dwelyn. Did you hear, like, I don't know how I should have been counting, but Michael said something like he said something every few sentences that this phrase kept coming up. Make it happen. Make it happen, right?
Yes.
You need to have
Yes.
that on a t-shirt, because I'm telling you, make it happen is like something that you guys just seem to live by, right? Make it happen.
Yes.
You know, I know you guys have a website that you guys are running, and I believe it's called Living on Dialysis, if I'm not mistaken, right? Living on Dialysis. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what that's all about?
Mm-hmm.
So, I think we kind of came up with the idea because we wanted to make sure we were doing everything we can to get out. And he decided, I don't put myself out there very much. And he decided to start the group. And then it just kind of went bananas.
A lot of thing of how it started was it was the peak of COVID. And I still had worked on aircraft for the government. And so I worked with hundreds and hundreds of people. And I would purposely try to stay away from her. I wouldn't kiss her until she's like, what is the point of doing all this if I can't be living? And that's kind of where, you know, if she ends up dying doing, then I want her going out having a blast with a smile on her face, and everybody think she lived a better life than what I am. I need to get out there too. If this dialysis patient can be happy, you know.
That's right.
So it sounds like you use this as just a way to kind of get people to show how they're living. Is that what it is? Is more like a platform for people to not just to learn how to live, but to actually share how they live on dialysis as well, right?
Yeah, it's to experience life and inspire somebody else. When someone puts a story on there, like, that's so motivating. That makes me think, yeah, I can do that too. And so, like, these stories in and throw them out there and let people understand that this is possible.
And it was, I was getting kicked out of so many other groups because I was asking so many questions.
Really? Were you really? I find it hard to believe, Mike.
I was actually.
No way.
I'd be like, well, why can't you be camping? Why can't I go dry camping? And I would ask so many questions, bashing Incento, and I'm like, no, that's not what I'm doing. I just I'm just pushing the envelope up my own group, and it just kind of exploded. We're like over 4,000. That's the good with the bad. We definitely have questions of, you know, any question that you have about dialysis. We definitely say follow up with your team, follow up with your doctors, but ask all the questions. Yeah, I mean, we have probably over 20, 25 posts a day of people just out camping, out having how that started. There was a lady doing the Sturgis, and I was like, God, I want to go do that next year. And I'm like, well, okay, well, I've got to convince her. But yeah, let's definitely organize.
So I know you talked to me yesterday a little bit about how your Facebook group, it's one of the fastest growing Facebook groups out there right now. Is that the case?
Yeah.
Wow.
Told.
Yeah, we've been told that.
In less than 7 months, a little tiny idea of where to get some solutions to over 4. You know, it's being referenced everywhere.
Bravo.
We've been on how many podcasts? So many. And she just kind of got known as the Dialysis Blind Chick. And we just kept going. So.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. You two definitely need to write a book for us at the Kidney Trails, because y'all spreading the word. Jeez.
I think that it's time. It's time to get out of that dialysis box. It's time to let people know that we do have a voice. We are in control of it, and get out there and do it.
Wow.
That's the biggest
Wow.
thing is that that isn't a death sentence. It is.
Wow.
There's so many options now that you just have to ask them. You just have to try them. And if it doesn't work for you, if PD doesn't work for you, and if home hemo doesn't work for you, then there's incentives also. But you can still try. You can do all of this stuff. Like I said, it just takes a little bit more planning.
You know, and I would definitely say, like, I think honestly that I would love to see you guys get in front of more physicians and not just patients, but physicians as well, because I think a lot of times some of us as clinicians and professionals in the industry aren't familiar with all of the things that patients like you and with your partner can actually do while on dialysis. I know, you know, it's really good to see people doing so much living and dealing with all of the things that come up when you're a dialysis patient, but doing it successfully and really finding a way. I know a lot of people would say, well, you guys are young, that's why it works for you. But I get the impression that you guys would be doing the same thing if you were in your 80s. That's at least how I see it.
We will be.
Rich, I totally agree with that. Mike and Chris, did y'all? I may have heard it incorrectly. Did y'all have a podcast? You have your own podcast?
We do actually. We actually started one a couple weeks ago, and and it's basically different things that might come up with dialysis. We've done an episode on PD. We have the first episode is where it's basically whole entire story you can get within the time frame. And we did our last episode was about on
the next one. My daughter's going to be on there, and she's going to talk about what the struggles are of being a sick parent and how you handle those things and how you get through that. Just kind of things that, but nobody's talking about them.
Yeah, kind of like the whole caretaker part too. We're going to do an episode happen, but how hard it is actually being a caretaker at times, where one almost dying and then still having to be at work at 4 o'clock in the morning, you know, and still having to put on a persona of, well, everything's fine, screaming of, what the hell did we just go through? You know, or she'll be in the hospital one night, and that same day, 12 hours later, we'll be out trick-or-treating with the kids.
Right,
but and people will say, well, I thought she is, but she's choosing to be out there having fun.
Yeah.
Choice. Right. That's right.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
And nobody, you don't know it. You don't owe anybody. Like, I can feel horrible and still push myself to go trick-or-treating with my nieces and nephews. And so if somebody asks me, oh, I thought you were sick. Well, sorry, but.
Yep. Yeah.
Your sick is different than the way I do sick, right? Yeah. No, and I can totally.
We learn to push yourself and just say, hey, I know you feel like crud, but once you get moved, get your butt up and do it.
When people reach out to me and ask how she has so much muff, I tell them, start with just 10 minutes. 10 minutes a day, get out and get that bike and just walk for 10 minutes. It doesn't have to be anything sweating. It doesn't have to be anything. Just tell yourself, and then add 5 minutes to it, And it's amazing how much, dialysis, how much you get that blood pumping.
Yes.
You get that motivation. Exactly. You get going and having.
Wow. Great advice. Great advice.
Man, I was born on a Sunday. My birthday is coming up, and I'm gonna tell you something. I'm inspired. I've been inspired by you both. I mean, I love both your energy. I love the outlaw. I love the blind chick and their sidekick Moose. I think you all are great. Man, I just wanted to share with you both. We try here at the Kidney Trust. We truly do. Man.
Well, we
So
appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, we really do.
Most definitely.
And thank you for putting this on out there about this. So
pleasure's definitely all ours, from Rich and Dwelyn, and myself. I mean, pleasure's definitely all ours. We're at we're almost at our hour mark, but I say, hey, let's keep going. Let's keep going till the producer tells us to stop. I mean, we want you all to promote your podcast, your Facebook page, what you want to do. What's on your agenda, your long-term goals? You tell us what do you have planned?
Well, with the just search for Living on Dialysis, or you can search for Christina Gilchrist or Michael Gilchrist on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, Google. Learning how to do it. So, but we definitely put some fun stuff in there too. There's a section where she just talks about something that's interesting or funny. And we always have a guest. So if any of you guys want to be a guest, let us know.
Yeah.
And
we
had another blind chick that was on PD. She actually just got off the phone with her because she had a couple of questions and just wanted to say hi. We had another young mother with two kids.
Yeah.
That she just
very
recently
young.
started PD.
Wow.
So we're hoping, and if you guys have any ideas of shows that you want us to do, reach out. And our Facebook group is just Living on Dialysis. You can pretty much just search it, send one of us a message, and that's kind of what it turned into. Is also you can reach out to Christina or myself.
I talked to so many people going through this around the world.
Yeah.
And honestly, just a woman named Alyssa, and she needs to change clinics. It's not working out for her, and so we're talking about it, and just little things. It's it's amazing that we all have each other.
That's exactly what it is. Right. Too is it's a community that people don't. For her 40th birthday, it was a milestone that was going to make it to. And when I first started the group, I asked, hey, send her a birthday card to kind of tell her happy 40th. And we got...
Wow.
We got it from Australia, Germany.
Really?
All over the United States. Just letters in there saying how much she inspired them and how much they move. And, it's amazing how by just posting one picture of her on the ATV, how much that domino effect people to just say, well, why can't we?
Yeah.
I can go visit family, do all these things that I wanted to do. And
I absolutely love going to the gym. This patient is super difficult, but I go to the gym now, and I go after dialysis. I can fit it in. I go, and these things are possible. Just take it at your level, and
And that's amazing because you just said you went to the gym. You go to the gym after you get off of dialysis, which
we're going after we're done.
So many patients can't even get enough energy to walk from the car to their favorite recliner in their house after dialysis. And here you are, you're able to get up and go to the gym, and I have no doubt that's true at all.
That didn't happen overnight. That was a slow progress of. Okay, I'm going to go to the gym and just sit on a bike and watch the movie. It slowly just got more and more. Be kind to yourself. Feel the way you feel, but just know that if you keep with it, it's going to get better and better.
Don't try to challenge yourself with everybody else in the gym.
Right.
Do it.
Right.
I would have to, Christina has quite a few sisters that go. She has one that's just, and I'm like, okay, you're doing great. Just compete at your level. If you do more, great. If you do less, you're there.
She's my little sister, right?
I love that. Like you two both, you live by keep going. And and I live by a phrase too that there is no competition for me. I'm my only competition. And Mike, I love how you say that. You challenge. You don't over challenge yourself. And Christina, I love how you said even if you're going to take baby steps, you got to crawl before you walk. And you made that perfect analogy of, hey, even if you go to the gym and you sit on a bike and watch the TV, you can pedal in strides. And then you know what? I think what I get from you both is the choice that you both make and live by is I want to be better than what I was yesterday and aim for better for tomorrow. So I love it. Bravo. Hats off to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So Rich, we like I said, we have 57 minutes. We got 3 more minutes. Is there any closing remarks that you all would like to make before we close it out? We can keep going. Is there anything else you want us to know? Hey, that's why we're here. I
want to give all of you a big thank you because
thank you.
I think that anybody that puts information out there, they don't know how many lives that they're changing and affecting. Just making the difference you make, it's incredible. And so thank you for taking the time.
That's basically mine. Is I've said it a couple times. Anything you want to do, just go do a little bit more planning, but just go do it.
Yeah.
So
wow.
And everyone should get a dog.
Yeah. A dog like Moose, right?
Yeah. Everybody, go get one.
I hear that. That is so lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude our show, don't forget to go to Instagram. If we could pop that back up again so everybody can see it for here in the Rich and Dwelyn show. Follow Michael and Christina Gilchrist. I like to call him the Outlaw, and she's the Dialysis Warrior Blind Chick. Their Instagram is I am living on dialysis. And hey, check them out most definitely. Richard Cabrera, the innovator, my man. It's always great seeing you. Words can't express how much that I love doing this show with you as well. So Mike and Christina, if you can tell the audience. You both said so many wonderful things. And I know you got one more in you. So for all of our audience watching, what's the number one thing you want everybody to remember? Remember you both by what you live by, and you said so many things. But you both are full of so much life, and you're not only surviving, you're living. And I think that's what a lot of people are doing. I think, Mike, you made a comment, in reference to probably aren't living, they're just surviving. And you both are a great inspiration. So what's one thing that you like to share with everyone and in remembrance of you both, if they don't remember anything else?
So when I was doing dialysis when I was younger, alone, completely alone. I had this incredible family who was around me, but nobody knew what was going on in my body and what I was feeling. And I would, you just cry yourself to sleep because you're stuck in this cycle that gets you. And
wow,
don't let that happen again. Like, please, that's what this is for. Please don't ever be alone again.
And mine would be living on dialysis. Just keep living.
I hear that.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. I'm inspired, Rich. Rich, I don't know about you, my man. How about you, brother?
Oh man, every day I've been working with home patients for 15 years, and every day when we meet people like Michael and Christina, it just gives me you know, a lot of motivation to keep doing what I do professionally, as well as what we do here at the Kidney Trails and on the Rich and Dwelyn show. So thank you guys very much for being a part of it. And I know where this is just the first of many experiences that we'll have together. So thank you again.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Well, I appreciate that. I appreciate it. So, ladies and gentlemen, you know, that is our show. We want to give a shout out to LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitch. And if you missed this show, but you know what? You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and you can see it over and over and over again. And I'm going to tell you one thing. You better watch out, because the gunslinging outlaw and the blind dialysis warrior chick is coming to you on a PD on a motorcycle. Ladies and gentlemen, from Rich the Innovator and me, the Glue, we're signing off in the Kidney Trails. Hey, follow us along the Protein and Knowledge, where the Protein and Knowledge never ends, along the kidneytrails.com. Thank you so much.